welcome to Emerald Lake. I'm glad to be back streaming again after a few days off. It's been hectic, and my week is still going to be hectic, so I'm not going to be able to stream as much as I want. I'm sorry. But, we're doing spooky stories, so it's all the stories, that were recommended on the Discord. If you have not joined the Discord, it's in the chat now. So there you go. Hi. Hi, Nani. Hello, peoples. Alright. I'm a little nervous. I got that rain going, and that went well. Okay, thanks. I had the rain running at the start, and everything was lagging a lot. But it's not operating now, so it should be okay. Shouldn't be a problem anymore. Yeah. So, let's see. There we go. The first story that I have recommended is SCP-1471. Oh, model freaking out. So I wanted to say I've got the little warning up. These stories, they're gonna have anything in them, almost anything. And so if you don't want to be here for spooky stories, that's perfectly fine. You can join me on a different stream. But this is what we're reading today. Spooky story time. Look, this is everything needs to reload after how laggy it was. There we go. Cool. Oh, you like it? Okay. Well, I'm excited. The image is certainly interesting. I think it'll be very good. But we'll get into it, I guess. I'll pop up the little ta-da, and we'll start reading. Redeems as usual right after each story. I will just have them piled up and go in order in between stories. Alright. SCP-1471. Item number SCP-1471. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. All mobile devices that have SCP-1471 installed are to be confiscated and analyzed for any potential leads to other possibly affected devices. Afterwards, affected devices are to have their batteries removed. Be assigned a designation, e.g. SCP-1471- number, and be placed in Storage Unit 91 at Research Site 45. All online application stores for mobile devices are to be monitored to prevent any inadvertent sales of SCP-1471. Suspected devices are to be targeted using self-uploading malware in order to disable the device until it can be seized by field agents. I think I'll wait to say what the image here is. It's SCP-1471-9405. So there's quite a lot of these. They got to 9405 of these affected devices, I guess. Hello, Sir Captain Rose. Welcome. I'm alright. I'm doing pretty good. I hope all is well with you. It is a spooky stream, so I guess not all is well in that universe that we're reading, but everything else. Okay. Description. SCP-1471 is a free 9.8 megabyte application for mobile devices named Mal over 1.0.0 in online application stores. SCP-1471 has no listed developer and is somehow able to bypass the application approval process to go directly to distribution. SCP-1471 is also able to avoid removal by other program manager applications. After SCP-1471 is installed, no icons or shortcuts are created for the application. SCP-1471 will then begin to send the individual images through text messaging every 3 to 6 hours. All images will contain SCP-1471-A, either within the background or foreground. SCP-1471-A appears as a large humanoid figure with a canid-like skull and black hair. So now we'll go back to the image that I was saying. It says it is the last image received by SCP-1471-9405 before being rendered inoperative. And the image, it looks like one of those office or classroom doors where there's the thin window in the door. And it's a very dark, maybe black and white image, but canid skull. There's something in the eyes still. Jaw slightly open. And lots of black hair or fur around it. On what looks to be some sort of humanoid body. I think I can see pants. Yeah. Hello, Demda. It has, but welcome. It's spooky times. Alright, so yes. During the first 24 hours following the installation of SCP-1471, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations commonly frequented by the individual. After 48 hours, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations that were recently visited by the individual. After 72 hours, the mobile device will receive images of the individual in real time with SCP-1471-A, appearing very closely, in real time, images of the individual in real time with SCP-1471-A appearing within close proximity to the subject. Yes, Critterville was very cute. It was, it's unfortunate that we visited while it was nighttime, but you know what? Why don't we try and visit them now at the end of this stream and see if they're more, awake, because it was nighttime last time. We can try it. Okay. So the more time, you've had the device, the closer the 1471-A will be to you in those photos that they send you. Individuals with greater than 90 hours of exposure to these continuous images will begin to briefly visualize SCP-1471-A within their peripheral vision, reflective surfaces, or a combination of the two. Continued exposure to SCP-1471 after this point will cause irreversible and sustained visualizations of SCP-1471-A. Individuals at this stage have reported periodic attempts made by SCP-1471-A to visually communicate with them, but fail to understand or comprehend these actions. Hi, thank you for joining us. Taiki. Currently, the only known treatment to reverse SCP-1471's effect is to eliminate the individual's visual exposure to these images prior to 90 hours after installation. Cute impos. Okay, so you eliminate their visual exposure before 90 hours. After 90 hours, that's difficult. To date, no apparent hostile activity has been reported regarding SCP-1471-A. Okay. Let's see. Level 2 access required. Let's see what we've got. An archival document. Oh. Okay. It looks like at the bottom of this, I have the option to buy this ad, but it looks like this document is a description for the actual, the app that this is all contained in. Okay. Archival document 1471-01. Note, SCP-1471 as posted on application stores. Ooh, Nani, thank you for gifting that. That was a gift. It was a gift. We must respond appropriately. There we go. It was gift. But now you have sub again. Dumda. Okay, so this is as it appears on application stores. Mal O. Or what I was saying before was Mal over. Oh no, it was Mal O version. I misread. Mal O version 1.0.0. Free! In all caps with an exclamation point. Reviews 0. Description 4 very long redacted. Period. I don't know what that's for then. Never settle for those awkward feelings of being alone ever again. Mal O is an exciting and interactive experience that will keep you engaged and intrigued. The anxiety of social situations can be nerve-wracking, but after just a few hours of Mal O, you will soon forget all about those painful emotions of disappointment. Be part of the new craze that is quickly becoming the next social substitute. Remember, the more you participate, the more Mal O will engage you. Your experience is completely up to you. Absolutely no ads. No ads, all caps. Enjoy. You'll never have to worry about being anxious about other people, because you'll only be anxious about me, is what it's saying. And it is spooky, but it's just a very funny little thing. But there's an option to click buy, and I'm going to do it. Poor decisions. Here we go. Oh. It has taken me to a whole new thing. It's called Capone. So there's a second story within this one that happens where they reference something. So I'm moving on to the next story that was not recommended, but it's attached to this one. I'm going to go for it. 41%. Sorry, Nani, not great. Where was I? Oh, I was going to change this. So, we're going to... Oh, I wish I could do... Maybe I can. Let's see. I have a thought. I don't know how well this will work. Betster, you did even worse. Wah. Wah. Okay. Let's see if this will work. I'm trying to change the... No, it didn't work. I was trying to do strike through. Oh well. Okay, so the next story is just a continuation of the last one. It's Capone. So we'll move on. Ooh, Tetra! You blast them all away. Dumda, you did pretty good too. You didn't know what Riz is. Riz is charisma, is the shortened word. It just means... Are you smooth? Can you pull it off? Do. All right. Capone. It's not very long, so I mean, there's one kind of long section, but I'm curious to look into this. Ooh, okay. I'm excited. Oh, darn. You had all the riz, but none of the love. Sorry. Oh, bots. But okay. Capone. I was scared when I first saw him. It happened just as you told me. The messages, the pictures, seeing him around every corner afterwards. I was so young. Who wouldn't have lost it? William sighed. By then he was over the creature following him. It wasn't like it was going to go away, no matter how much he begged or pleaded or attempted to bribe. He knew that the best and only solution would be to just get used to Capone being there. I guess Capone being 1471A. At least he knew he had the solace of knowing he wasn't going insane. Believe me, William, I know many people have reacted the same way. Fear is a more common reaction to the unknown than you think. Dr. Laura Brands consoled him. These cases weren't exactly common, but they were commonly known. It's not even that I'm afraid of him anymore. I mean, he makes me jump when I see him in the morning. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. It's just the bad connotations he has, William rebutted. Yeah, I was a little bit like, I don't know what's happening in that sentence. There's just too many twists in that. Sorry, Dum-Dum. But, okay. I'm gonna try and keep reading this, though. I know that he does, but it happened 2 years ago. He has bad connotations, I guess. I know it's hard for you, especially with your shadow, but you need to carry on, Dr. Brains stated. William just sighed as she continued. Our session is almost up. We made some real progress, William. I want you to do something for me when you get home. Do you have any homework or anything? I did it all on my break. Good. When you get home, I want you to think back to your first experience and write as much as you feel comfortable sharing. Is that right? All right? Yeah, thanks for seeing me. It wasn't too long a drive from the doctor's office to home. 5, possibly 10 minutes if there was a train. He always saw the creature through the rear view mirror when he drove, riding in the back seat. It looked innocent in its own alien way, waving to William as he saw it. Dude just like, hello. Okay. Aw. Sorry, the love has a bit of a cooldown. Fetster nabbed it right after you, so you have to wait again. Circry. None of these bots are doing too great. We got a couple of good numbers. There is Tet and Dumda. Yeah. Okay. No, you're fine. You're just doing the little games in the chat. It's good. Okay. Oops. Sorry, Nani. Bad roll. But we've got our SCP-1471A called Capone in the back seat, waving. Cute little thing. Despite everything, William found himself talking to it, like one would talk to a dog or a cat about their day when they're alone. It seemed to listen when he talked, and after a while he could swear that it understood. Ooh. It's hard to tell with a face like that, so all there were to go by were various head tilts and waves, and even then he had to teach it how to wave. Oh, that's kind of cute. At least I know you're interested. I guess William said to our Capone. Dang it, we're out of cranes. We're not doing origami today. We've got plenty of cranes. 11, nice. Don't bonk yourself. Be nice. Okay. Drop the backpack near the door, go to the patio, wave to Capone from the mirror, fridge, drink, chair, crash. William's afternoon routine was more clockwork than it should be. He thought back to his session with Dr. Brains. She wanted me to try and recapture the experience when I first saw him, huh? William mumbled as he grabbed a few sheets of paper and a pen. Bit by bit, he pieced together the sequence of events that led up to this point. Thanks for the follow, the most honorable. Thank you. Hammer. Alright, cool. So then we have the document that he writes, I guess. The whole how it happened. I've had Capone with me ever since I was 15 years old. Oh, great. I'll try and make sure we keep a cozy energy, but it's just a tad spoopy. It's a spooky day. I hope you sleep well, most honorable. I've had Capone with me ever since I was 15 years old. I remember that my 20-year-old sister Sarah brought up an app that she downloaded earlier at the dinner table one night. She had no idea how it does it, but hazarded a guess that it tracks you through your phone's GPS and sends you pictures of the places you've been with a really cute, in quotes, monster placed in the photo to make it look like it's following you. It didn't seem that weird. I recall that Google Maps could get a decent ground photo at the time, so just add Photoshop to that, and you'd have a gimmick. Plus, we knew it couldn't be a virus. The App Store checks every app for things like that before peddling it. The only thing I found legitimately off about it at that time was that it was both free and adless. I will hydrate now. Okay, thanks. Okay. Her explanation of it sounded pretty cool to me, so I asked Sarah to help me download it on my phone. She told me that while my old hand-me-down flip phone did have something like an app store, it most likely didn't have Mal-O. Didn't stop her from looking, though. Sarah was a good sister. She really could have told me to just get out of her hair, but she always took time out of her day for me. Packing my lunch, playing with me, bringing me to R-rated movies that I was clearly too young for. Just water right now. I do have some ginger ale next to me, though, as well. Okay, so Sarah took William to R-rated movies. I was lucky to have her as a legal guardian when our parents passed away. Aww. I was too young to process it all when it happened, but Mom and Dad died from a head-on collision with a drunk driver. Sarah took care of me as my legal guardian up until I moved out for college. God knows where I'd be if she didn't. After some prodding, she found the ad. Well, not that drinking, but, oh, you mean it's often in horror stories? Is that what you mean? Because that's true. She was my legal guardian. God knows where I'd be if she didn't. After some prodding, she found the app, which was a surprise to both of us. It was obvious that my phone didn't have any kind of GPS, but neither of us had even thought about it until much, much later. Yeah, drinking and driving, always and stuff. Assholes. Soon enough, I received my first picture. I'll never understand the way Sarah saw the world. If that was her idea of cute. The photo was taken in my school's courtyard, with a creature I'd soon call Capone sitting on one of the benches. You could barely see him, but there he was, covered in his black, matted fur with his knife-like claws, a set of blank, pure white eyes, and that face which was merely a skull belonging to some kind of large beast, looking directly at us with that large, wolfish grin. Uh-oh, we have raiders. Hello, raiders. Welcome. We're just reading a spooky story. We're in the middle of an SCP spin-off story. So if you've read SCP 1471, we are reading the additional thing to that. Thank you for the shout out, Fetster. I was just starting to try and figure that out. But yes, welcome. Thank you for bringing people in. Welcome, Raiders. Sorry. Amelas TV. That's your name. I'm not always great at catching that. Go rest. Thank you for bringing people in. Go take a break. You don't have to stay. Thank you. But go look after yourself first. Right. Was looking directly at us with that large wolfish grin. Yes. I'm Elisa. I'm Elisa. There you go. Thank you for the I often need those little spellings like that. I gave the phone back to Sarah, telling her how terrifying it was. It's just like when all the letters are crammed together, I don't know where one sound starts and the next one or the last one ends. I just get it twisted up. I'm sorry. Okay. And yay, thank you. Happy Easter to everybody that celebrates that. I gave the phone back to Sarah, telling her how terrifying it was and that I didn't want the messages anymore. She just jokingly punched my shoulder, saying, "Oh, don't be such a baby. It is too cute. Look how happy he is to meet you." I looked back at his face, his wide grin specifically. I have to admit, I laughed at that. It was just the sheer wrongness of that statement that made me listen to the next. I'm sure he'll grow on you eventually. Tell you what, if you can put up with him for one whole week, we'll go see that movie you wanted to see. If he still gives you nightmares, we'll delete it. If you end up liking it, we'll laugh about it later. Deal? I looked at the picture again. It appeared that getting a photo every now and then was the extent this was going to go to, and looking at it in hindsight, I probably would have kept it on for next to nothing if she really wanted me to. So I agreed. Thank you for the follow, Graced. So I agreed. Sarah was ecstatic after that and assured me that I wouldn't regret it while showing me some of her own pictures. She only had 3 so far, one at her office, one at the park, and another on the road we lived on, each picture containing her own clearly visible entity. I must have looked nervous or something because she suggested that I name mine like she did with her, Cassandra. I thought about it for a bit. Let me make something clear, though, because it seems to come up whenever I tell people this. I did not name my mallow Capone because of the incident with my parents. I didn't even know that my mom and dad's arrest involved alcohol at the time. I named him after a history lesson I found amusing in school where people's fear got the best of them, and as my teacher put it, it ended up doing more harm than good. It was intended as a reminder that I shouldn't be making the same mistakes. Hello, Brady. Yes, we're in the middle of this one. Ooh. I saw a bit of light in this whole thing after giving it a mock title and thought it wasn't going to be that bad. I went to bed and my normal life went on for just a little while longer. I continued to get pictures of Capone for a while, following me at school, the bus stop, my street, virtually everywhere I went. It wasn't until the 3rd or 4th day when I got called in from class. I was thinking that I was in trouble or something. for something, even if I didn't know what. But as soon as I saw Sarah, that feeling stifled. She looked very shaken. The instant she saw me, she immediately yanked my arm and brought me to the car. Sarah was not looking good at all. She kept asking questions about Capone. Things like if I saw him or if I received any photos from him with me in the images. I haven't checked anything from today, but when I checked, there were 2. I remembered exactly when and where those messages were taken, because during them, I made a mental note that I got some texts from Capone. They've been sent as soon as they've been taken. Sarah knew that we were being pursued by something. She probably had no idea by what they were, and I knew she had no idea how they were doing it, but she knew that they knew where we lived. She couldn't figure out how to delete it. She said she tried everything but couldn't find a way to get it off. She couldn't even find where the app went. I'm not even sure what we were planning to do, but before we could even fully plan a course of action, I got another text. Sarah froze and stared at me, as if to say, "Don't look at it." If I didn't, I could have a semi-normal life right now. It would have been over the news within the week, and we would have known. But I did it. I opened the phone, and there we were, just sitting there, with that fear-stricken look on our face. The photo was clearly taken from the hood of the moving car, giving us a clear view of what was happening behind us. He took up most of the back seat and towered over me. We both turned around, preparing to scream at the monstrosity behind us, but when we did, the seat was empty. We didn't know what was happening, what to make of it, but we felt that the only thing to do is run away, abandoning the car. We hastily ditched the car, ran the rest of the way to the apartment, and locked the door behind us. We locked ourselves in the bathroom and waited. We just stayed there. Even when we got a message from Cassandra or Capone, Sarah would scream at them, asking why they were following us, and begged for us to be left alone. We felt hopeless against them. All we felt we could do is just sit in the bathroom and hope they would go away. The room felt like our only safe haven until we were exposed to them for too long. Sarah started to panic, saying that she kept seeing one of them behind her. I wasn't seeing it, though. I was more concerned about trying to calm her down by telling her that maybe they weren't really there than I was about seeing Capone in the mirror. I convinced Sarah that we needed to leave the room out of necessity. We couldn't stay in the apartment forever, and if they wanted to get us, they would have done so already. We called the police, and here we are. We both got help, but I was the lucky one. Everyone's case was different in terms of interaction, but for me, Capone was always in a mirror or some reflective thing large enough to show him. He was predictable, and I could find ways to block him out when I needed. I learned how to expect Capone, and after a while, he kind of grew on me. I used to have a makeshift curtain that I would pull over the mirrors when I didn't want to see him, but I started using that curtain less and less as time went on. Capone always seemed to try and interact with me, even if I didn't understand what he was trying to say most of the time. I started to greet Capone with a casual wave as I passed by him from the living room mirror, and eventually he started to wave back. He kind of became a constant companion to me, and I adjusted to Capone just as he adjusted to me. My case wasn't as severe as Sarah's. She saw Cassandra everywhere she looked, around every corner, just out of sight, over her while she slept. Sarah took her own life 2 years ago. I wanted to blame the Mallows for it, but I can't. Following the person who looks at their messages is just what they do. Now every time I see Capone, I'm reminded of what I did in the car that day. I knew I shouldn't have picked up that text. If I didn't, she would still be here. And that's the end of that blurb, that long letter. It was almost 4 hours since William had started riding, but he almost felt relieved. He's never actually told anyone about this in such detail before. The majority of what happened was kept between himself and Capone. He looked up to the creature in the mirror from across the room for a few seconds as it gave the old, familiar wave. William was silent for a minute, staring at Capone and then back to his papers. He felt the need to make one last point, so here's another piece of that letter. But then again, how would I have known? I don't know who made the mallows or why. I don't even know if anyone actually made the app. Many things like it have been created naturally or have given some kind of anomaly out of sheer chance. Or have been given some kind of anomaly out of sheer chance. It would make so much sense if some physical thing was to blame, but there's none that I can legitimately find. None on the mallows, none on me, just on chance. And that's the end. So that was SCP-1471 and Capone. Okay. Touched on tougher topics, not the funnest time. Let's take a breath. I'm going to do the redeems. So I'll grab the thing for the mic sharpening thing. Alright. Here, my voice. Here's some mic arm sounds that mimic knife sharpening. Hi, Cage, and everybody but Cage. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for that little raid. Battle chain. I'm glad you like the frogs. They're great. Cage, give yourself a shout out. Okay, keep going. I'm sorry for the bonks. Okay, and that was some sharpening, and now I do a singing a frog time. Some good games, some bad games. Darn. be fun. Yeah, it'd be fun to have that. Oh, frigid was unhelpful in your stream. Darn. Alright, singing frog time. Ooh, and then page flipping. You got it. Okay, here we go. That was our singing frog. Magikarp. Magikarp, I choose you. Okay. Hydrate and stretchings and posture checks. Okay, we go boop, boop, boop. We do quick stretches. Oh, it feels good. Your cat left you a very unfun Easter present today. I have known cats to do that. And an accident all over the carpet, all over the apartment. Sorry, I don't know. I failed it. Yeah, that's no fun. O96. We can look it up. What's O96? Aw, that's no fun. Sorry to hear that. I had not heard of. I don't think we have read. Maybe it is on a list somewhere. Nani, I can add that to my list to read eventually. But I've got who I'll read today already picked out. So, boop. Bratty, are you still here? If Brady is not here, then I will not read Brady's story. But Brady had written an SCP story that they hadn't yet got posted. They turned it down so far. I guess it's not quite fitting some of the stuff. But okay, it's added to the list. Brady shared it to the Discord, so it is in the line. No, now it's on the list. It is noted. Yeah, I don't think someone else had said it yet. Oh no, wait, yes. Oh wait. Brady Cthulhu had specifically said, don't do that. For your own well-being, Raven, don't read it. Now I remember. So it's kind of funny. You're like, too bad, I recommend now. Haha. Annabelle, thank you for the follow. Okay. Now we're moving on to page flipping. And then we can move to the next story, but we're not quite there yet. It is page flippins time. Okay. Okay. That can go away. That's very cute. Shout out to Annie Bell. Ooh, okay, good. Page flipping. Here we go. Starting with the little book as usual. Alright. And that was our page flipping. Okay. Crummy Water, I'll be doing the bubble wrap after the next story, if that's alright. We're reading. Did we already read? No. I think this is another version of the SCP-001. It's the Ronderhouse's proposal. So. Oh no. Why did this link go to Twitter? Get me out of there. Alright. Should be fun. Alrighty. Just print out the entirety. Yeah. I don't think I need all of Wikipedia. Besides, a big thing about the Wikipedia is that it updates fast. So you don't have outdated information if you're watching it. Or what? Watching. If you're reading it when it's old. That's no fun. At the end of the world, get your Wikipedia flash drive here. $500 a pop. Oh, go ahead. Y'all planning for the apocalypse, specifically to be those people, TM. Alrighty. Okay, here we are. Ronderhouse's proposal. One of the multiple SCP-001 entries. Dun dun dun. Oh, I'm glad. Maybe I should double check. Could have very easily been you that recommended it, too. It was you. Oh, that's a good point. Updating all of my little things. I like to keep a very thorough, very thorough track of all the stories so that I don't mix up when I've already done something. And so I can keep everything sorted. Okay. Here we go. My brain bouncing around. Ooh. Dang it, man, this version of the Wikipedia page said Tony Hawk invented peanut butter. Now I gotta reprint the updated version. When I used to work at a hardware store, I sometimes killed time off time in the garden department by planning my contingency plans for a zombie eclipse while I was working. That's a good thing to prepare for if you got the time. Knowledge is power. Yeah, it holds up Wikipedia like He-Man. I have the power. Do you have a master list of the ones you read before? I have a master list of the ones that have been recommended to me. Yes, and I'm keeping track of if I read them or not. And then if there's spin-offs as well. Is this the one? Yeah, SCP-001 has multiple articles stuff. I don't know if this one is divided, Back when. Yeah. Garden snake with a spike tied ranged weapon. Climb the shelving storage to get onto the roof of the shopping center. Then I have access to food, groceries, and vitamins. You were set. There you go, Cage. Okay. Rounderhouse's proposal, as I was supposed to do. It looks like there's an addendum on this one to eventually look at and stuff. But first we have info on Site 01. I guess what this is going to be about. Oh, yeah. Weed whackers, weed eaters. Yeah. Okay. Rounderhouse's proposal. By direct order of the Office of the Administrator, the following file is classified clearance level 001/1, out of 1, whatever. All Foundation personnel are permitted and encouraged to read this document. And then it says, Welcome, 0513. Dun dun dun, what does that? Level 1 out of 001 classified, item SCP-001. There's a little image that says safe. And image of Site 01. Looks like an old house. Manor. You know, the whole, not quite mansion, not a mansion. Manor. A photo of Administrator Franz Williams, circa 1891. Black and white photo, bearded man with medals and stuffs and a sword. Fun. Okay. Special containment procedures. All personnel are permitted to put in a request to their local human resources officer if they would like to visit Site 01. Visits are generally limited to 1 per 4 years in order to avoid large amounts of damage to the property. The site itself is maintained by the Office of the Administrator, and any concerns with the physical building or grounds should be directed there. Description: SCP-001 refers to a collection of 13 anomalous areas present within Site-01. These anomalous areas vary in size and effect, and are scattered throughout the grounds of the site. A full list of SCP-001 instances are attached below. Okay, so yes, you're right. It is separated into 12. I see now. I didn't see. These anomalous areas vary touch below. On attack. Site-01 is a mansion in rural Virginia constructed between 1764 and 1766 by Duke Franz C. Williams. Aha, explaining the medals. An Austrian noble who would later become the founder and current administrator of the foundation. He's current? How old is this man? What? Williams's emigration from Europe was incited by the 7 Years' War, later regarded as the first occult war. Documents relate that he arrived in the New World in a private party of 12, purchasing the land for the mansion ahead of time. The party that arrived would become the first overseers of the foundation that they formed through the organization though the organization as it is today would not take shape until the late 19th century during the American Civil War. Oh yes, I understand now. If it was constructed in 1764 and he supposedly got the land ahead of time, purchased the land for the mansion ahead of time, and this photo is from 1891, he'd be frickin' old. Over 100 years old in that photo, but he looks 30. Okay. Dude seems to be immortal. Maybe. Okay. It became customary for new overseers to make their own additions to the mansion as they were inducted, modifying and changing rooms to suit their needs, often with anomalous effects. Due to the secrecy associated with the former O5 Council, I'm guessing Overseers Council, access to the site itself was severely restricted until very recently. Then we have each of our SCP-001-01-02, 3 to 12. Funny thing is that it said collection of 13 anomalous areas within that site, and there's only 12 here. But okay, we're going to read each of them. SCP-001-1-01, right? Description: SCP-001-01 is the Bridge Archive, an underground storage area below Site-01 that holds approximately 2,000 historical artifacts from the early 18th century to the late 21st. While a few artifacts are anomalous in and of themselves, the vast majority are not. However, handling an object of historical value within SCP-001-01 subjects the handler to a sudden burst of visions, typically associated with the object's historical context. A plurality of SCP-001-01's artifacts originate from various European wars. Examples. First, item: a Spanish naval cannon inlaid with beryllium bronze insets. Vision: a single galleon flying the Spanish flag approaches the larger English man-o'-war and its escorts on a clear crystal blue sea, possibly that of the Caribbean. The man-o'-war turns to face the Spanish galleon, readying its cannons. The cannon, unusually placed at the bow of the ship, is loaded with something and fired. The single cannonball collides with the hull of the man-o'-war. Several seconds later, a number of massive tentacles that dwarf both ships rise from the depths. A gigantic eye is visible below the water. The tentacles wrap and crush the man-o'-war while the escorts rapidly retreat. No damage is caused to the Spanish galleon. Next item. Item: a French cavalry sword inscribed with the insignia of Estate Noire. Vision: a view of a battlefield in France. French troops huddle in a trench, a distant screaming overhead. The sky is golden. For a moment the screaming stops, and a roar swells through the French line as they rush out of the trench. At the other end of no man's land, a swirling sphere of wings and music screams again. The scene cuts to after the battle. No man's land is littered with corpses, and O5-1 stands on the fallen body of the angel, pulling the cavalry sword from it and wiping the golden blood on his shirt. Attached file. 6/5/1959. July 5th. May 6th, I don't know. Or June 5th, I don't know. Or maybe it's just numbers, it's not a date. Adiat has fallen. Samothrace is lost. The occupiers will no doubt slaughter their survivors when they enter the city. We had the means to stop it. I didn't. Everything is worse now. Signed at the bottom with just the initials DB. Administrator's Note 1. Django was a good man. I met him just after World War I. He had been one of the experts on the paranormal. So many of the governments had enlisted for the war effort. The pay was good. He was given free rein to experiment and test how he wanted. Then he realized all his work was just being used to kill more young men. He quit and worked as a free agent for some time, drifting through France, Denmark, Scotland, landing in Spain. The paranormal communities back then were tiny compared to what they are now. We knew each other by reputation and became fast friends. The ideas of an organization free from the political squabbles of the time was immensely attractive to him, and I brought him on as an administrative consultant. 9 years later, he took the recently opened position of Overseer Alpha, eventually changed to O5-1. He was obsessed with history since the day I met him. He had a collection of artifacts from various European wars in his family castle. Some were anomalous, most weren't. That collection became the basis for the one under Site-01 today. He was also dead set in his belief that the Foundation should never be involved in the political machinations of nation-states, even as they transitioned from kings and czars to presidents and prime ministers. He was the reason we found ourselves painfully neutral during the Cold War. He was the reason we took no action during Samothrace. Men died, but he was firm. More men would die if we intervened. We could never stay neutral forever. The insurgency crisis proved that. My oldest friend died as he lived, immersed in our history, trying to decipher our future. I never filled his seat. I think that was the beginning of the end. So I guess DB was probably Django. All very interesting. SCP-00102. Description: SCP-001-02 is a converted bedroom in the east wing of the mansion. Most furniture has been removed to make room for 30 monitors and televisions mounted to the walls. These displays constantly output a variety of global information, e.g. the daily NASDAQ average, the precipitation levels of the Middle East. Higher priority information is permanently held on the larger screens, while smaller screens switch out between data feeds, seemingly at random. The source of the feeds and power of the to the screens is unknown. None are connected to anything except each other. Screen permanently displays the rate of traffic flow on all major American and European highways. Message: driver rate needs monitoring. This is in all caps. Fluctuations unclear. Maybe indicative. Get in touch with DC AL Fine GOC OWE me. I don't know what all of that is to say. Another screen. A shifting graph showing the prevalence of anomalous tool use in Foundation sites. Message: risking dominance scenario. Address council about this. Urgent. Underlined with 3 exclamation points. Not again. And again, the message is all caps. Attached files. Looks like email back and forth. So first. From 05-02 at overwatch.scp.int to RISA staff group. Subject: data flow. Date: 12/05/2044, December 5th or May 12th. I want every goddamn byte that came out of Kabul before the bombs started falling sent to my office by the end of this week. We're in crisis mode. It's our job to make sure shit like that never happens, and we fucked up. The best thing we can do now is use the data we do have to prevent something from ever happening again. And then from admin@scp.int to 0502 Overwatch SCP.int. Subject: no subject. Date: 12/08/2044. So I'm guessing that this is all December 5th and now December 8th. David dash: you need to let up. We can't change the past, but we can change the future. But you can't do anything if all your staff are terrified of you and hanging on by a thread. This has been the worst week of their lives for most of them. Don't ruin them. Don't get obsessed. And then from 0502 Overwatch SCP.int to admin. Subject: no subject. Same day, December 8th, 2044. I'll take 200 burned out staffers over one more corpse any day. Administrator's note 2. I picked up David after the Gulf incident in 2026. Ooh. Watch out for a Gulf incident in a couple years, I guess. He was just a lowly RAISA tech back then. RAISA, by the way, RAISA acronym. RAISA tech, but I saw something else in him. A fiery talent for putting pieces together, getting disparate information anyone else would consider worthless and forming it into something useful. I have not read it yet, Brady. It's okay. I tried to get your attention earlier, but don't worry yet. Disparate and forming into something useful. It's not a learned thing. You either have it or you don't. He had it in spades, and it was being wasted helping researchers set their passwords. I gave him a few trial runs. The information breaches the GOC had during the late 2020s. Oh, another issue in the 2020s. All him. Very impressive young man, if acerbic. When the old two retired, he was my first pick for the job, and doubled up as the RAISA director too. He hit the ground running. Information is the reason the Foundation has been dominant since World War I, and he was the best there was at it. He figured out the insurgency's attack plans from annual ammunition sales in Libya, crossed by Anderson's stock prices once. The puzzles stopped being puzzles. What happened next was inevitable. Hello, Millennial. He fell into the classic trap. He got paranoid. Everything was easier, but he wasn't used to that. The reasonable conclusion was that he was missing things. Every little accident or statistical improbability became his fault. Sorry. He felt responsible for the hundreds that died during the 6-minute war. Kabul was on his hands. It wasn't, of course, but it was how he felt. Suddenly, every single bit of information was absolutely crucial. He needed to have it, to analyze it, to control it. It wasn't enough just to solve the puzzle. He had to be the only one who had the answer. Paranoia makes monsters of us all, and David was no different. He went early for a human, which is absurdly early for an 05. I found him slumped over in his room, watching the Powerball drawings. Ooh, that's the end of 02. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the 6th anomaly thing. We're going to do redeems, and then I'll do the last 6. And then I will make sure to read Brady's story. If you have to leave early, Brady, tell me, because then we will read the story before you leave. I did tell them that you wrote a SCP, so we will be reading it. All right. SCP-00103. Description. SCP-001-03 is a warehouse on the outer grounds of Site-01. Remodeled into a workshop, it contains manufacturing implements and industrial machinery from a variety of time periods, as well as raw materials and hand tools. Any item crafted in SCP-00103 using the tools and machinery available will carry some sort of minor anomalous effect with it. These can range in power and type, but largely result in magic items that are anomalously improved at their own given function, e.g., body armor that protects the wearer from damage, a lockpick able to open any lock. A number of these items are strewn about the workshop with labels. Item: a small solid-state drive containing a shackled AIC program. Shackled.aic program. Effect: .aic, named Sophie, is able to hold and maintain casual conversation and small talk beyond what would be capable for its storage capacity. The label says practice.exe. Another item, a small crib mobile resembling the solar system, with the addition of a 10th planet between Uranus and Neptune. Effect: instantly calms the observer into a state of relaxation, presumably designed to soothe infant crying. Label: it's in struck script, so Aggie's baby scratched out. Ooh, kind of sad. Attached file. It's 05-3. and an administrator, I guess. 05-3. Oh, hello. Administrator. Hey, Rhett. 05-3. I wish you wouldn't use my name. Administrator. That's what makes it fun. Both chuckle, then fall silent for a moment. 05-3. Rhett. Did you need something? Administrator. Yeah, well, you know how time flies by. We were going to have a little get-together for 7. Be nice to have you. Maybe bring a gift for the kid. Well, I guess maybe 7 is Aggie, I don't know. 05-3. Oh, I see. Moment of silence. 05-3. I'm sorry, I don't think so. I just, has stuff here to finish up. You guys have fun. Moment of silence. Administrator. No worries, Rhett. Just don't work too hard. Administrator's note 3. And it says man, but with 2 N's, so I'm guessing that this is Rhett man. Each of these have been, the administrator's note is a note on the overseer number that they're in order that has the anomaly. So this is the way this is going. Man was good. I liked him. He was former Prometheus, ended up taking an employment offer from us when his lab went under. Put his brain to work designing more efficient things for us to use. Containment chambers, machines, sometimes even weapons. He built the null riggers that eventually replaced SRAs. He was also responsible for the design of the FS bow, even though he had about as much experience designing spaceships as anyone else in the Foundation. Man was a true prodigy, the kind of intelligence you see once in a generation. He was odd, though, not in some overt way, just the kind of person that you have to really push to talk to. He never really interfaced with me or any of the others outside of business like everyone else did. Preferred to stay huddled in that little workshop all day and night, crafting up wonders. I'm not really sure whether he couldn't connect because he was always working, or whether he was always working because he couldn't connect. Or maybe they were entirely separate and I'm connecting dots that don't exist. We'll never really know for sure. We never really found out what happened to him. He just didn't come back from the workshop one day. I started the biggest, quietest manhunt in the world. Never found so much as a hair. Hell, maybe he didn't want to be found. I couldn't fill his seat after that, even if I wanted to. It would be admitting the obvious. Oh, that's a sad one to end. Oh. I was hoping that we'd get some further explanation of the baby thing. Whether he was, he was trying to make a thing and then, oh, you should come see the kid. Oh, yeah, I should. And then he says no. Why does he say no? Why does he scratch out for the baby? Why does he do that? What's the T there? Okay. SCP-001-04. Description: SCP-001-04 is a private library located in the west wing of Site-01. It contains a variety of texts and books, all concerning various anomalous phenomena. While most of these books have been written, some will be written at some point in the future or have never been written at all and thus do not technically exist. Ooh, spooky. SCP-001-04 was placed into Site-01 via a thaumaturgic ritual? I'm not sure how to say that. I'm going to guess thaumaturgic ritual aimed at amputating a portion of the Wanderer's library. The ritual succeeded, but resulted in the annihilation of the caster. Ooh, darn. We've got an extra picture. Oh yeah, the pictures so far have had photos of things. 01, glass cases in a hallway, as it was a hallways of stuff. 02, picture of lots of monitor screens, because it was lots of monitor screens. 03, a workshop, but it's got big heavy machinery in there, robots to help you make stuff. I said it right? Hey, cool. And then 04, carpeted library, very fancy, dark woods and furnitures. but then it has an additional photo that's yellow sticky notes with sketches of different things on them. Very interesting. Attached files. Index-S2T continued or continuous. There's an ellipses in brackets. The Selk Chronicle Abis Wam. I'm guessing maybe that's author. Surface Black Wormcrag. The Serpent's Hand TM removed. And this one has a link, so we can go and try and read that at some point. The Wanderer's Library section. Just gonna copy that link and then go back. Like I said, I like to keep track of everything. We're on 4. Maybe 4. Then The Serpent and Analysis. Jericho Benausch. And the Serpentine Text Modern Edition. The last 3 there were all removed and struck through. Then the Cecilium by an unknown author, and another ellipses in brackets. Then under that a note, a set of small yellow post-its with hasty pencil drawings on one side. The art depicts scenes from SCP-6000, including the main hall and page and archivist instances of SCP-6000-A. The corner of the topmost post-it is wet. Okay. Interesting to know. Yeah. Just putting in this link to the thing. Okay. And then SCP-6000. They're interesting. I'll just take that as well. And put in that one. Okay. Back again. Sorry. Okay, you got it, Nani. So interesting about the post-it notes. Interesting. Ooh. And this is Administrator's Note 4, and I guess we can take it that Overseer person number 4, I guess I forget to, is Tilly. It says, poor Tilly. She was the rarest of the rare, a hand member defecting to the Foundation. Whatever the hand is. We see a lot of the other way around, but once in a blue moon does a hand member come to us willingly. I don't know much about her, honestly. I'm not even entirely sure she was from this particular world. If she had access to the library, she could have been from anywhere. That's probably why it took so long for me to trust her. She took up the mantle of 30 years after that meeting, even after becoming the director of 17. Between then, she became one of our most valued assets, an encyclopedic knowledge of pretty much every type of magic possible without being a capital G god. She knew how to neutralize wizards, casters, battle mages, anything. She also knew how to disrupt the Hand's operations. They were pretty much gone by 2049, at least until the 9th Occult War. They have a habit of springing up during crises, but I digress. We had anomalous members of the council before, but never a true honest-to-God wizard. Never thought I'd see the day, but she was one of the most loyal people I've ever met. I have no idea what the Hand did to piss her off, but she never forgave them. Her joy in ruining them was only matched by her thirst for knowledge. Thank you, Hera. Thank you. I like my cave. That was what did her in the end. From the moment she shook my hand, she became a jailer and was barred from the library forever. She knew what she was signing up for, but I don't think she fully understood how important that place was to her. She would give anything to have her access restored. She ended up giving everything. So this is, I don't know what the jailer bit is exactly. I guess being on their side of the team, SCPs. But she was the one that tried to cast part of the library into their site, and it did work, but whoops, it did kill her, I guess. I was surprised that they have somebody that's anomalous, because the SCP, the Foundation, they've been kind of absolute shit. We're just gonna keep them in a cell and torture them and use them how we decide. Not typically my favorite thoughts on them. But okay. SCP-00105. It's a picture of like a greenhouse gardening. Description: SCP-00105 is a large greenhouse and conservatory inside the gardens behind the east wing. A variety of colorful plants grow inside, completely unique. The species no longer exist anywhere else in the world. They have never been documented by modern science and only exist after having been meticulously reconstructed by Foundation gene labs. While never documented by modern science, archaic herbariums from medieval Britain indicate that the species closely match the descriptions of plants supposedly found on the Fey Island of High Brazil. Ooh. So now we've got plant descriptions here. Description: a shrub with small white flowers, secretes a milky white substance. Placard: Aglaufotis, I think, has abnormal healing properties. Maybe send a cutting to 9? Description: an aquatic fern with purple 5-parted leaves. Placard: Razkovnichi, ground into a paste effective against magical wards. Seeds from mom's cache. Cool. Thank you for the follow. Movin' plop. Not sure how I should say that out loud, but thank you. I'll do the mic sharpening after 06. When we get to 06, we're at 05. Actually, I think that I'm not going to get through all 12. We'll see. Okay. Attached file says, "Hey, whoever finds this, I'm sorry about the mess. I'm just sick of all of it, and I feel like I'm doing everything wrong. I've been spending a lot of time with the plants lately. Did you know that there's species here that haven't existed for 7 centuries? They were all lost when the island disappeared, but I had the labs reconstruct them, so I guess they'll live on. That makes one of us, haha. Sorry, bad joke, but yeah. Sorry about the mess. Could you please make sure my dad doesn't find out about this? I don't know what it would do to him. I think it's about time. Bye." That's this. 02. Okay. Well, thank you for the follow, 02. This is not fun. That's terrible. Administrator's note for 5. Overseer 5, I guess. The way they talked about mom and dad, you wonder how old they are. Chelsea, here's the note. Chelsea was one I never expected to have as an overseer. A half-blood fairy? It would be inconceivable. The Foundation's relationship with the Fey folk is one famously riddled with lies, violence, and tragedy on both sides. But the Fey population was decimated after the events in High Brazil. We never saw the island again after 88, and by the turn of the century we assumed they were all either dead or somewhere we couldn't detect them. Note, it does not specify which centuries at all. Could be any of them. But not all the Fae were on the island when it vanished. I'll spare you the details, but Chelsea was the result of a union between an agent and a Fae. She had the benefits of the Fae's magic and the career prospects that came with having a parent employed by us. Oh, good career prospects. I don't care. You guys are evil. It was hard, but stuff was different back then. We had anomalous task forces. A half-anomalous researcher wasn't that absurd. She had adversity, of course, but she rose through the ranks quickly. The previous 5 recommended her for the position before he went, and I agreed. She always struggled with it, though, supporting, even leading an organization that was the blood enemy of her people. Yeah, I'd imagine that wasn't exactly easy. She was a phenomenal 05, which is what makes everything that much more tragic. It wasn't any sudden event, just the decades of moral conflict culminating until she couldn't take it anymore. Yeah. This greenhouse always meant a lot to her. It was the closest thing to her homeland that still existed anywhere on the planet. Maybe that's why she brought the gun here. Yeah. Last place you'd want to see. Did someone give clippings to her dad? That would have been, the nice thing. Let Dad have plants from the homeland. Because it says that don't let Dad find out about this, so Dad is... Anyway. Frickin' heck. Here we are, 06. 06 looks like a clay wall bedroom. Fun art. Okay. Yeah, traditional Middle Eastern homes with tapestries, artifacts. Okay. Description. SCP-00106 is a bedroom in the western wing. It has been renovated and redecorated in the style of traditional Middle Eastern homes. Tapestries, artifacts, and knickknacks line the walls and shelves. A hookah sits on the low table. Quilts and Afghan rugs cover Why is my voice cutting off S's? Cover the floor and bed. Touching any of these decorations results in the hookah producing a light smoke. When inhaled, the subject will experience a strong vision. And it looks like they're attached to specific items as well. We've got another couple examples again. Item, a small flag on the piercing sun movement, A sunrise with an eye on it, rendered in minimalist black and white. The vision, the walls of an unknown city. The flags of the piercing sun government are everywhere, and loudspeakers loudly proclaim the date, 9/5/2059, which I have to assume that's September, right? 5th, 2059. And that the Horizon Initiative was beat back another separatist movement. The streets are empty. Another item, a quilted blanket on the bed. In this it looks, I can't quite tell if there's only one bed. It's not a giant photo. The vision. Standing in the market of an Afghan village, a woman kneels in a small shop and sews the rug. On a small television, a muted news channel dated December 1st shows aerial shots of Kabul in ruins. Small explosions still pepper the rubble. The subject will cry after the vision ends, but is never able to explain why. And in our previous readings, the last couple of them, we know that around December, it was 2044, there was a crisis in Kabul. Something happened. So that the one overseer blames himself for. So something big. Attached file. Looks like a conversation between the administrator and overseer 056, whatever. 056. Why? Administrator. You know why, Ali. 056. What? The GOC might take offense? They don't give a shit about anything east of Turkey. They never have. Administrator. No, because we're not in a position to be jamming our fists into every anomalous conflict that springs up. 056. Then why are you even here? You disappear for months at a time and then show up to tell me that my vote is invalid? Administrator. Because one is dead, and I don't want you to go rushing headfirst into a fight you don't know anything about. 056. We didn't learn anything from Samothrace. Neutrality just means more death. You know this. Administrator. Sigh. Look, I agree with you, but the other 9 don't. 1 is dead. I guess that's... yeah. I vested the power in your hands for a reason. This isn't going to end here. Kabul is just first blood. 12's replacement is getting fast-tracked, and he knows how to win a fight. Just wait, okay? 056, 9. What happened to us? Silence. Their numbers are dwindling. Ugh. Administrator's note 6. Ali was from the Middle East, exposing my Eurocentrism. I couldn't tell you where exactly. He always said that he drifted from country to country after the Arab Spring. He loved it, though, with all his heart. The Foundation has a historically reviled presence in the region, so as an eminent expert on the local paranormal, he was being headhunted by us. He was also being approached by Oria, O-R-I-A. And you're telling me the Foundation is rooted in white and probably racist things? No, never could have guessed. Never. That they don't know anything about. Okay. Anyway. We promised him so many things, that keeping the region stable was in our best interest too, that Uriah's end goal was hegemony against the West. Takes back. Some of it was true, some of it wasn't. In either case, he believed it, and took the job off of her. Naturally, his first task was to go to Oria and tell them he accepted their job offer. Spies are always useful. He fed us info, fed them misinfo, all sorts of things. He's directly responsible for the strong relations we have there now. He did well for a good long while, but sooner or later spies get found out. His time came after the Dubai gin incident, and we pulled him back to the States to take an administrative job, well outside Oria's grip. Oria's. He was good at his job and had strong personal connections with important players. It wasn't long before a council spot opened up and I ushered him in. Yeah, the same foundation that hunts anomalies, aka stuff is different for what they consider normal, could have never guessed, honestly. Yeah, exactly. We never quite managed to make the region stable, and Uriah never quite built their hegemony. So what can really be said? All Ali knew is that he had completely screwed the organization dedicated to his people and bet all his money on us. When the insurgency reared their ugly heads and made a first strike, he realized he'd made the wrong decision and tried to fix his mistakes. I stopped him. He drank until his liver gave out and then drank some more. Another person joined the foundation and deeply regretted it, and here you are, writing about it, administrative person. Do you think maybe that this is, possibly because you're the problem? Okay, sorry. But that was 06, so we'll take a break. And we'll do some redeems, and then I think I'll read Braddy's story now, so that I don't know if I'll get through the rest of the SCPs in time. So I want to, the rest of this section of it. Why is this so wobbly? Mic arm, please cooperate. Drinking till the liver gives out and drinking some more. Just a normal Friday. I really hope not, Nani. You'd be running through liver transplants like mad. And you should really be careful about those. Okay. Shuffling my things because we first have bubble wraps and then bracelet and singing bowl, and the mic springs reverb, and the mic springs sharpening. All of them. So, okay. Gotta get my things together. Okay. Hello, Ghostwriter. We're just moving into bubble wrap and then some more redeems. So here we go. This sheet might be all out of bubbles, so I'm gonna roll it up tight and see how much we can get. It is all out of bubbles. Ah! Oh, there's one. This is an old bed sheet that might have a couple more. Ooh, yeah. That's all the bubble wraps I have right now. I have more tucked away, but I don't want to start a whole new sheet for the end of that. That was our bubble wraps. I'm sorry. Not enough. Beaded bracelet, right. Here we go. Oh, and hello everyone. You're just wearing your shorts back. How long have you been wearing them backwards? And okay, Vetster, enjoy. We'll see you another time. Thank you for the follow. Gaze upon gilded, sunless eyes. Ooh, fun name. And also thank you for follow Rabbit Imperial Guard. Differently fun name. This is gonna be. Oh, I'm glad. We're gonna be getting to more spooky stories after these redeems. I've got a few more. But okay, here we go. Alright, now I'll move to the singing bowl. So I'll move my mic a little bit. And there was Singing Bowl. Alright. Boop. Okay. Trigger word from Bratty is not a word, it's a whole thing. Okay. My god, people, my mom just let me drink cola. How cool is that? Now I'm playing Fortnite and drinking cola. Yippee! It's a choice. Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed the singing bowl. Yeah. It sat a little funny on my hand today. Yippee! Bratty has some choices. Okay. And here's the mic arm springs. Sorry, I'm trying to get it. Let you hear it better here. And there was the springs. Now I'll do the mic sharpening again. And then I'm going to save keys and humming until after we've read Bratty's Cupcakes, I think. And that's when we'll wrap up with the last couple of redeems at the end of that story. Okay. Here we go. And that was mic sharpening. Okay, so yes, I will move on to the cupcakes. Alright. So this is Bratty Cthulhu's story. It is not on SCP, but it's our Hollistic Cupcakes. So here we go. SCP-8595, the Hollistic Cupcakes. I think there is a different 8595 now, officially. But item SCP-8595, according to Brady. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Containment areas to remain sealed at all times. No human interaction is allowed with SCP-8595. Any and all interaction should be carried out via robot or other remote means. Object must be monitored on 24-hour basis via closed-circuit camera checked every 30 minutes. Should human interaction become necessary, security lines must be attached to all personnel. Should any personnel begin to exhibit erratic behavior, they are to be immediately removed from the containment area via the security lines. Lethal measures are also authorized. Description. SCP-8595 is a grouping of 8 cupcakes, one with a bite, with bright yellow colored smiley faces on top. Served on an aluminum tray, the cupcakes do not spoil, age, nor attract animals or insects. Neither does it melt, burn, or freeze under any temperature, dissolve with any liquid, nor its form can be altered via any force other than the biting from a living person. This is exactly what Brady has put, so, okay. Until now, cannot be altered with any force by a living person until now. Completely indestructible by any means. Okay. The cupcakes have an almost hypnotic, in quotes, aura that surrounds it. At a 35 meter radius. Usually meter you just abbreviate with an M, not the T. I'm like 35 mountain radius. Tell me if it's a different measurement. Alright. Ads are gonna try and do things. Don't do that. Ads. Okay. 35 radius. The cupcakes will make any person get a small feeling of hunger. At the 20 meter radius, it will give a slight sweet tooth craving. At 5 meters radius, it will make any person act as if they were on abstinence from an addiction, making them extremely hungry and thirsty, and will notice and think about eating the cupcake, starting erratic behavior. At the 2 meter radius, people will abandon all reason and will do whatever they can to eat a cupcake. If any more people are near at the moment this happens, a conflict for one of the cupcakes will commence, normally ending in a free-for-all style battle until there's only one last standing. Other signs of the effects include extreme salivation, growling, red eyes, and a slightly crooked stance as they bend down from the stomach pain thanks to the extreme hunger. Metric trampolines. What a unit of measurement. Oh my goodness. This effects will maintain until they leave the 35 meter radius. The name of the object received, the Hollistic Cupcakes, was given by the security personnel after they saw the events the object could make occur, as it will create a catastrophe to prevent anyone from eating it, with a 100% mortality rate for the person that attempted to consume it. Registered events include tripping on a shoelace, falling and cracking their neck, car crash, heart attack, brain aneurysm, earthquake, the summoning of an ancient demon, redacted, asteroid impact, slipping on a banana peel, redacted, addendum, notes on recovery. So the person who takes a bite will die eventually. The object was discovered in the remainings of an old 80s family dinner restaurant on a small town in Redacted, surrounded by debris, while the display where it was found was in perfect conditions. No, don't. Though security footage found in the rubble... Oh, it was in perfect conditions through security footage found in the rubble. It was discovered the diner was destroyed by an earthquake as a man tried to give one of the cupcakes a bite. During the cleaning procedure, one of the Foundation personnel started an erratic behavior as he approached the object at about 5 meters and tried to go for a bite of the cupcakes, resulting in the summoning of a colossal demon known as Redacted, leading to the call of reinforces and the use of SCP-5514. After the Titan was defeated, the recovery of the cupcakes was done via a remote-operated robot. Observations. We have yet to found who made these cupcakes. Their composition is as normal as it can be, yet the way they behave is extremely different, almost terrifying. God knows what catastrophes these cupcakes are capable of creating. Further experimentation is prohibited. SCP-8595, the Hollistic Cupcakes. There's a photo of the smiley cupcakes. Holistics are thinking the universe pulls strings for some kind of faith or destiny. It's got some other connotations and meanings. Holistic, like in holistic medicine, is meaning looking at the entire view of the patient instead of individual issues. That's the one connotation I know for holistic. The other SCP is a mech. Ooh. And there was more conversation after that one, but that is what I have from Brady. So, though I just realized my OBS on-screen chat is still showing this stream chat even though I long since stopped streaming. Yeah, it'll do that once you've raided into the other one. Even if you're done, like, your OBS will understand you as going over there. It's silly. Alright, I have an ad that has to go up, and then we'll go back to the Roundhouse. And I think I will read all of those until we're done. But okay, ad. And then I'll do keys and humming, and then we'll do that. And then, yeah, that'll be how that goes. Yeah, it's spelled with only one L. Aha, see. Okay. And running. Go ad, come on. Okay. Let's prep for that. Wow, the ad runs. Kills. And I can update my list. Ha ha ha. Ooh, if it won't lag. Freaking lagging. Boop. Alright. And I have got through half of that one. I have not continued. Okay. Boop. Alrighty. Keys. We're gonna do the keys now. And a bit of humming and then the however many I can get through. I think I'll try and get through all of the other rooms of the roundhouse proposal. And then we'll raid into Critterville, because I don't have to stick around for that, or chat or anything. I can just let the Aminals be there. I wanted to see if they'll be more active at this time. And if they're not, they're not. And it's fine. But that's where we're raiding. Alright, and then a little bit of humming before we do more SCP. Hi, Death Noah. Happy Easter. We're gonna be getting back to SCPs in a second, but I have a little bit more humming to do. Well, thank you for the subs, guys. Thank you for doing those gifts. Technically, we have to drop 3 separate money frogs because we had 3 separate money frog moments. And you see, Death Noah, you specifically, you get it, you got the money chat sign. Ah! I tapped in and saw your comment. Listen, Trevi said, joking with soda. So a sub for you. if that was the requirement to get a sub, we'd have some interesting sub moments where people are just laughing and joking at other jokes. Yes, we drop the money frogs whenever there is a gift, and we had 3 gifted subs to Rabbit Imperial Guard, Benson 9165, and Annie Bell. Thank you, Death Noah. Thank you, Cage. Thank you, Nani. And money frogs for you! Money frogs! Okay. Glad I could make you joke. Okay. Alright. It's gonna keep humming. I think I'm just gonna move on to the next story. Technically, oh no. I'm supposed to wrap up and move on to the rating. You know what? I'll give you guys a choice. I'll give y'all a choice. Where's the thing? You have 2 minutes. Go. Do I finish the SCP story, delay the end of my stream, or do we just raid now over to the critters? / you guys redeem and then I go over and raid over. But up to you. Pick your preference. I will wait. You only have a minute and a half left, I would say, right? We're split so far. We don't know. Oh my goodness, what did I can't vote on it, so I'll just say keep reading. Why can't you vote? But that's okay. Alright. So we actually have 2 for SCP and 1 for raid. Alright. So it's not just me. No, it's not just you no more. Oh, we've got 3. We've got 3 for SCP. It's just white for you. That's weird. By rabbit, does that mean you can't vote either? If so, say it in the chat and I'll count it. We've got 3 for SCP and 1 for raid. That's very odd. It is very odd. And I would not know anything about how to fix it. I am not good at that. But yes. Ooh. 4 for SCP and we're ending now. SCP-1. Okay, so we read. We don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Okay. Freaking weird. Proposal? No. Proposal. Ronderhouse. Not roundhouse. Ronderhouse. Roundhouse. Okay. I prefer to just imagine the vote is rigged. The game was rigged. No, the typo was cool. I liked it. Alright. It probably was pretty rigged in a sense. I'm asking you guys, should I do more of the thing that you came here to see or leave? Alright. Frickin' Mike, cooperate. Wobbly in one spot. I don't like it. Okay. SCP-0017. This is the first one that does not have an image. Description: SCP-00107. Because my Danish keyboard making autocorrects. Oh, yeah, that'll happen. It's a wooden gazebo in the gardens behind the eastern wing. Ring-a-ding-ding, baby, the game was rigged from the start. Ring-a-ding-ding. Okay. Wooden gazebo in the gardens behind the eastern wing, painted white. It contains an arbor which is grown over with ivy and roses. Upon stepping through the arbor, the subject will be temporarily transported to one of two extra-dimensional locations. Ooh. While the subject is free to walk around, no actions taken will affect anything, and no one will acknowledge their presence. Ooh. I think the one person who voted no probably just wanted you to keep your schedule in case you had anything to take up. Also, he's probably pretty cool. We need a little frog that does a little finger touch, like, I don't know, maybe. Please? I will be okay today. Today is good for that. Although I have gotten a few notifications of people trying to talk to me while I'm in the stream today. I would just talk to them after. But okay. So, you can go through to two different locations. What is location 1? Location 1 is a small wedding in progress on a rainy day. I guess forever a wedding progress? It wasn't me. Oh. A man and a woman, wet in their wedding clothes, kiss under the arbor to applause from the assembled 24 individuals. They will mingle, congratulating the couple. The woman lightly touches her belly. Ooh, aw, sweet. Thank you for the follow, Senpai's Gold. I think you're going... I'm sorry you've requested that. I'm going to reject it because I'm going to be going over. And I'll be ending right after this. So, I won't be doing this. How do I do this? Can you pause all of them? Why didn't they send 24? 'Cause 2 doesn't. I don't know. They say what they want to say. Maybe it's Baker's dozens. Maybe it's 26. I don't know what they want to do. It's not for me to know. Obsidian rocks. Hello. I'm Obsidian Reeds. Oh yes, it's like the rocks. Yes, that's what I am referring to. Hello. If you join a different stream, we can do the mic sharpening, or my VODs are up. I did it twice in this stream, so when this goes up on YouTube, you can watch it there. I also keep the VODs for the first little while here. Dew on the grass, giving a dictionary explanation. I mean, you right. Okay, sorry. The location number 2. A funeral in progress on a cloudy day. A portrait of the woman stands on an easel. The casket is closed, and on a table inside the gazebo, in front of the arbor, a dozen or so individuals stand quietly talking or sit silently. The man stands at the edge of the gazebo, looking out at Site 01. His face is emotionless. Because they say the woman and the man, it does seem to imply the same man and woman from the wedding, which is sad. Oh, you like sharpening rocks? Well, yeah, obsidian's a freaking cool rock. So, of course you like that. The attached file from 05-07 at overwatch.scp.int to 05-01 at Overwatch SCP-INT. Subject, no subject. Date, looks like January 8th, 2046. 1. I really don't care how long you've been on the council. You don't outrank me, so don't ever get on your high horse and think to shame me for taking action where you won't. People in our facilities are dying by the day, and the insurgency is still marching. The veil won't fall if we evacuate who we can. Even if you're too much of a coward to work with the GOC and end it, I'm not going to sit by and watch people die. I can't do that. Ooh. I like that people are fighting up against, they're like, hey, no, we're doing something wrong. But I'm a little concerned. Oh, this hurts. Oh, okay, so we've got some answers to the previous, that workshop with the person with the baby, whatever, all that. Okay. Hoo-hoo. Ooh. Alright. Administrator's Note 7. Aggie was the best of us. Aggie being this 07. And referring to in the workshop that something was for Aggie's baby, but then it got scratched out. And we're already talking in past tense. I don't care how long you've been on the council. You do not outrank me. Raven to the Obsidian fans, probably. No, we can all love that rock. It's not a problem. Okay. Aggie was the best of us. Ugh, no more giggling. It's about to be sad. She had a lot of love to give. She was also incredibly talented. Her rise through the ranks of the Foundation administration was meteoric. When Seven died, she was pretty much the only option. His sphere of influence was containment solutions, and Aggie was the best graded HMCL out there, not to mention having first-hand experience with all the famous anomalies. What? She was brought on with a shake and a smile. Otherwise, she would have been on the ethics committee, which was probably the biggest pain in the ass for the council until the insurgency. She always had a strong moral bone. She met 13 early on, though, long before that. We all work together. It's impossible not to know your fellow overseers, even if you don't meet them physically all that often. I don't know exactly when they started their romance, but I found out in 2034, about a week before they wedded. She was always a maverick. At least they were happy together. I thought married overseers were a road to disaster, but in those days the council were the ones that actually ran things. It wasn't my place to say. I was wrong anyway. They brought out the best in each other. There were bad times, of course. Every couple has bad times, but the good times seemed to vastly outnumber them. Each was the first thing the other had put on the same level as their careers. They made a funny couple. 13 the bureaucrat, 7 the maverick, always doing what she thought was right. She had a lot of love to give. She died in childbirth. I don't know what happened to the child. I left that to 13. He was good, but never quite the same. So that refers to when they were in the workshop anomaly place. That person was crafting stuff, and they made something for Aggie's baby. I guess that's the baby. They had a note that said they were talking about going somewhere to see the kid. Yeah, so they were talking about that baby. And I'm gonna guess that this gazebo is with the two places. It's the two moments for 7 and 13, and then 13 at 7's funeral. Tough. Oh. Alright, SCP-00108. There's a big ball of mechanical thing, a ton of frickin' wires and stuffs. That's the photo. It says a component of 0108. Description: SCP-001-08 is a large non-functional machine in the basement of Site-01. The express purpose of SCP-001-08 is unknown, but by 058's description is a time machine, in quotes. It has sustained heavy damage through unknown means, resulting in a number of exterior scratches and scorch marks, as well as burns and broken machinery on the inside. The interior is a small space, 2 meters square, with a seat and controls for the machine. One corner has been cleared of rubble and contains a small shrine with mundane memorabilia. Oh yes, Annie Bell. Kate gave you the gift. We have a tradition here, and you missed it because you were away, but you might as well drop it now. There's a little frog in your remotes that is money. It's called Money Frog, Raining Money Frog. And we drop that whenever someone gifts things of different ways. We were 1 sub off Raven's Curvant Girl. Yeah. It's a fun thing that they do to beat my goals if it's just one off. But okay. The items in this quote-unquote time machine. Item. A small black disc, 3 inches wide. When put on a flat surface and pressed, it displays a holographic photo of 2 men with a small child. The child is cutting a birthday cake. All are smiling. Interesting item. Item 2. A crumpled paper receipt for a Solomon implant repair in New Portland. An address is given, and the charge comes out to $198.74. No such store exists at the given address, but the receipt is dated to September 16th, 2154. The date is repeatedly underlined in black marker. Attached files. We have a conversation between various overseers, it looks like. 057, that's maybe Aggie. They go through different numbers of them. I don't know which one is which, but okay. 7 says, that's everything, I think. 9 says, Lord, I hope so. 11 says, it is everything, meeting adjourned, unless anyone has any concerns. 8 says, do you ever think about when you're going to die? Silence. 9 says, excuse me, son? 8 says, just generally. 05 still die eventually. That's how we got our jobs, so do you? Administrator says, I think this discussion isn't productive. And there's silence. The hell have you been? I guess, where the hell have you been? Administrator, fixing things. But hey, 8, maybe you should go take a lie down, huh? Meeting's over anyways. 8 says, yeah, sorry guys. And then there's mumbling. Unassigned mumbling. I don't know who's mumbling. Administrator's note for 8. Thad. Ooh, Thad. Is it short for Thaddeus? I found that name fun. A bit funny. But okay, Thad was another one I truly didn't expect. For all my abilities, even I can't see into the future. He could, but only by virtue of being from there. He told us more than enough to both confirm he was from the foundation of tomorrow and to gain our trust. He warned us about GOI movements, or GOL movements, I don't know. This is the problem with certain typefaces where you don't see the difference between, or fonts, sorry. You can't see the difference between a capital I and a lowercase l. Their movements about containment breaches, about significant historical events, everything we needed. He was content to tell us what we needed to direct the Foundation into being the technologically dominant force it is today. That said, he never really ever talked about the future when he was from. Said that it would risk casualty or paradox. I think it's funny because he ended up proving casualty anyway. Knowing the future has the unfortunate side effect of knowing the future. He knew every single one of his colleagues, even me, would die. He knew how, when, where, whether we'd go gentle into that good night or whether the Reaper would take us kicking and screaming. He He never told us. He was smart. But he carried that weight on his soul every single day, every meeting he walked into. It's so cliche, but one day he just couldn't do it anymore. He couldn't wake up and talk to us like he didn't know the exact circumstances of our demise. He liked to come down here to think, maybe light a candle and look at the photos. I don't know who they are, but I can take an educated guess. He deserved a better end to his story. So the little photo and stuff, probably his family, and he's gone somehow, somewhere, in casualty, dead, but unspecified. Fun. Bye, Thad. Only 4 to go, folks. All right. SCP-00109 looks like a bunch of bottles on a shelf. Description: SCP-00109 is a medicine cabinet in the bathroom of a private bedroom in the eastern wing. The cabinet contains an array of medicines and narcotics, all contained in unlabeled amber glass pill bottles. Ingesting these medicines will result in variable but consistently positive health effects on the user, with no interim until it takes effect. Some of it's narcotics. Are you sure it goes well? But okay, cool. Use allows suppression of medical conditions considered debilitating by even modern scientists. GOI or Groups of Interest, GOI, to the Foundation, other paranormal investigation agencies like the Global Occult Coalition. That's what GOC is. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Now we're going to look at a couple of the bottles. Bottle 1, I guess. Description: a purple and yellow striped pill, circular stamped with W. Effect: immediately causes short-lasting euphoria in the user. Alters brain chemistry temporarily to more effectively deliver hormones while sending dopamine and serotonin glands into overdrive. The bottle is completely full and still sealed. How do we know that? Description: a small black pill, square, stamped with foundation seal. Effect: stimulates the amygdala, causing the gradual loss of a long-term memory. Of the 6 contained in the blister pack, 1 has been used. Somebody's gotten rid of a long-term memory. Attached file is actually 2 files, 2 letters. 1, a sealed letter found on 0509's desk. Grandfather, in quotes, is written on the outside in curling script. There is no return address. The letter is unopened and covered in a thick layer of dust. The second letter, an unsealed envelope and folded letter paper found in the wastebasket. Only a few words are written down. Thomas, by the time you get this, and that's the end of that letter. Cryptic as hell. Administrator's note for 9. How would you guess someone is a L-I-C-H? Lich? Anyway, we used to joke that Gene was a lich, whatever. Never to his face, of course. I may be old, but he was an old man. To the T. Yeah, I was gonna do the critters place. Lich, most likely. Cool, thank you, Cage. It's like my brain is like, that's a lichen, that's like the moss. No. I was gonna go to the critter place from Dumda. Again, I want to see if they're more doing stuff at this time. And then another time we'll do other stuff. Where are they? Critterville. That's it. That's what it's called. Okay, sorry. We used to joke that Gene was a lich. Never to his face, of course. I may be old, but he was an old man to the T. Grumpy, irritable, resistant to change. Required a small pharmacy to make it through each day. Yeah, it's the one with the cameras. But make it through each day he did. He was the oldest man I have ever met before he became overseer. He was director of 19, and he had worked his whole life to make it to that spot. He'd done well. The only possible move upwards was onto the council. He made for a good 05. Sharp despite his age, shrewd because of it. He always knew when someone was lying and never hesitated to tell the whippersnappers, like 4, exactly what he thought of their ideas. I think I may have been the only one he respected. Lich is a mythological human who has become undead by their own hand and continues living. Oh, yes, the ancient stores of human knowledge and typically boogeymen. Yes, like the, oh, I'm already seeing a few in my head, but I don't remember their specific names. Yes. Okay, thank you. Good. May have been the only one he respected. Maybe a little you're up your own butt, but okay, fine. Administrator. Being in foundation administration generally extends your life. It's the highest quality healthcare in the world. Being on the council is the peak of that, what with all the drinking from the fountain. They drink from the fountain of the youth regularly, seeing as they say all the drinking from the fountain, but okay. But he was old when he was brought on. Rather than prolonging his life, the doctors were working to stave off the end. And it worked too. Between the medicines, the machines, and the surgeries, I think he was about to beat out one as the longest living human on the planet. He was about to, so uh-oh. Then one day he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. He was always inscrutable. I don't know whether something sent him over the edge or whether he decided to do it himself. He got one of his factotums to take his wheelchair out before dawn and wheel him to the hills in the northern parts of the grounds. Said he wanted to watch the sunrise alone. The records from his vitals are still there. He sat and watched the sunrise. Then he reached behind the chair and turned off his own oxygen. The body was cold by the time someone got there. I don't know. The way that this is going, the way they're all dying, is nobody maybe pushing them? Or is no one also realizing that they should, oh yeah, we're doing the wrong thing if everybody that's involved in it doesn't want to live no more? I don't know. SCP-001-10. Description. Oh, and this one doesn't have a photo. SCP-001-10 is a large dog bed inside SCP-001-03, and 03 is the workshop. It is pushed against the northern wall and covered in dust. A photo of a golden retriever is pinned to the wall behind it. A number of items sit in the dog bed, including a chew toy, leash, and beaker. Upon touching any of these items, the subject will find themselves standing on the southern shore of the pond on Site 1 grounds. Attached files. It's a to-do list. Number 1 is Olympia, and that's crossed out. Number 2 is Deepwell. Number 3 is Samsara, crossed out. Number 4, Egg Walker, crossed out. Number 5, Persephone, crossed out. 6, Back to Normal. 7, High-Level Containment Solutions. 8, Deific Entity Neutralization, Test 343.8. 9, Figure out Kabul Recovery Plan. And then ellipses that I guess it may continue. Administrator's Note 10. This one we all saw coming. Crow was a true genius, without a doubt. In some ways, I think getting turned into a dog made him smarter, bizarrely. He was thinking in ways no human ever possibly could. He was fast friends with 3 when he got brought on. I will be the first to admit that I fully recognize the hilarity in a dog as an overseer, but Crow was one of the best men I have ever had the pleasure of working with, even if he wasn't a man. Can I just say, this is a person that is named after a corvid, like myself, and not exactly human, like myself, but also not a bird at all, like myself. I like it. Okay. Plus, being on the council meant he could have all the time in the world to perfect his creations. We used a lot of his tech after the 6-Minute War, even more after 2050. He was a man of the future, that's for certain. He was also friendly in that dog-like way, always looking at the best in people, even when they had done nothing to earn his friendliness. Unfortunately, he dealt with a lot of the same problems Atticus did. I'm not sure who Atticus is. Actus is, sorry. He was an 05, but a dog is a dog, and the unfortunate fact of life is that dogs die a lot faster than we do. Even with the medical wonders of the day available to us, we were fighting biology. Hi, Reginald 2007. He made the arrangements in advance. He didn't want to go in pain. Spent the day lounging around the manor, playing with us, indulging in his instincts, chasing birds. We went for a walk on midday, all goddamn 13 of us, in a golden retriever. Passed by the pond, and he said he was where he wanted to do it. That this was where he wanted to do it. Walked in a circle 3 times, then sat down and closed his eyes because the sun was in his face. I should like to think the syringe didn't hurt him too bad. Oh, now I want to cry because all the pets. Okay. SCP-00111. And this looks like an armory. There's a bunch of weapons, guns specifically, on walls and glass cases. Description. SCP... Oh my gosh. Hold on. My voice. Okay. Do on the grass. Yes. Indeed. I like that the root of the word is good. I was struck because I was like, because it was capitalized. I'm like, I don't know what's going on with this. We got there. Description. SCP-001 small armory in the basement of Site-01. A variety of firearms and traditional weapons are arranged on the walls, along with appropriate ammunition. Touching any of the weapons will display a particular scar on the subject's body, generally from a minor wound along the extrema, but occasionally from a significant torso wound. The scar disappears after letting go of the weapon. Weapon, a vibro spear, of the sort used on Luna during the Solidarity campaign. It is inlaid with symbols and markings. Scar, a bite mark along the calf. The teeth marks do not correspond with any possible human dental set or known animal set. Oh, I wouldn't have put those two together. I thought we were going along the lines of what has this weapon done to people, so I thought it would be a lot of bullet wounds. But okay. Weapon, next one, a custom rotating barrel hand cannon, emblazoned with the logo of the Foundation Agents Corp. Scar, 15 large knife wounds across the chest, neck, and arms, ragged and violent. Ooh. Maybe the scar is how the owner of the weapon died? Maybe? I don't know. Attached file. Form 0511, from 0511 at overwatch.scp.int to admin at scp.int. Subject mission. Date May 3rd, 2063. You gotta stop worrying about me. I've been doing this shit way before I had a desk job. Remember? You had better. You're the one that put me behind it. I have the best security detail on the planet. I'm going to a site nobody even knows about. The little people need to know we haven't abandoned them. That's how you get people actually defecting. Focus on getting the other seats filled before you start worrying about what happens if mine goes empty, okay? You're a good boss, but you worry too much. I'll be fine, I promise. I'm gonna take a guess. They were not fine. Just by the way things have gone. Administrator's note 11. Troy never asked for any of this. But he had the unfortunate fate of being too good at his job. I couldn't let someone like that waste their time in the Foundation hunting down magic objects and following up on Bigfoot rumors. His condition for being shoved into administration was that he could still take on field jobs if he wanted. As his rank rose, he got less and less time for it, until eventually seeing him go out was a rare thrill. He was a good goddamn agent. But he was right. Ultimately, he knew something I still fail to understand. Some people just aren't fit for this life. It's one of intrigue, pettiness, and messy, messy politics. And being a generally awful person. I don't know. He was a simple, down-to-earth guy. He wasn't good for any of that. But he accepted my offer anyway. Not because he wanted to, but because he thought he should. He was altruistic like that. That is the saying, isn't it? The people who want power are not fit for it, and the people fit for it don't want it. Power or leadership. Whatever. Made it a surprisingly good long time behind a desk job, too. Back then, if you'd asked anyone how well they thought Agent Lament would do at a desk job, you'd have been laughed out of the room. But there he was. Instead of sneaking into Adiat or looking into the resurgence of the spirit, he was making tactical decisions about how best to defend against the insurgency from the protected walls of the safest place on Earth. He was good at it, but that doesn't mean he was okay with it. Yep. One day he decided he was needed in Site 34 in the Levant. This was in 2063, near the tail end of the crisis, where none of us were really sure which of our personnel were still truly loyal. You can imagine how worried I was about an overseer presenting publicly, but he said that the people needed to see him, to see that their leadership wasn't scared. Yeah, it's significant. He always cared a lot about what people thought. One of his bodyguards turned out to not be as loyal as we thought. Uh-oh. Troy put up a hell of a fight, though. The auto limo arrived at 34 and opened up to a bloodbath. He'd stabbed the assassin with his own knife 12 times before breaking his neck. Probably good. 12 would have castrated the guy for information if he didn't kill him. But he'd gotten cut up a lot, way too much. He might have survived if he was here. As it is, he bled out before the car even stopped. It's not clear what got him, but yeah, okay. Knowing Troy, though, that's probably exactly how he'd have wanted to go out. Yeah. Ooh, there's a fun new addendum to open. That's 13, so I guess we'll read that too. Frick, I'm way over time. Okay, SCP-00112, though. Looks like, it's a bar cart. Bunch of booze on a little cart. Description. SCP-00112 is a bar cart and an auxiliary office in Site-01. It is set with a large variety of liquor and alcohol. That was the same thing. Ranging from common beers to expensive scotch. Okay. The bottles never run out. I see no beer on the photo, by the way. Bottles never run out, however, upon pouring any into a glass. Oh, thank you for the follow, Camper JK. Because it read as Emerald Lake Camper, I'm like, oh, Emerald Lake's a summer camp now. No, it is not. Nope. Okay. Ooh-doo-doo. Bottles never run out, however, upon pouring it into a glass. The drink will transmute into another liquid, generally non-potable or toxic. So it looks like it's going to be booze, but then it becomes some sort of toxin. Drink Macallan 1948 aged whiskey, and the liquid becomes warm, bitter water. Chemical analysis confirms trace amounts of sulfur. Bottle is perpetually 3/4 full. Drink 1.5 liter jug of moonshine. The liquid becomes Freezing cold, hard water scalds the throat when drunk and induces unconsciousness, the jug perpetually nearly empty. Attached file 0512 and administrator, and then also 13 talking. 0512. So I guess it's just us left now, huh? Administrator, hello 12. 13. So it would seem, and then silence. 12. Care for a drink? Administrator, ha. Thought you'd never ask. 13. Scotch, please. 12. Huh. Never knew you drank. 13. I didn't. Boring. Administrator. Cheers, gents. It was a good run. 12. Hear, hear. 13. Yes. Quiet, intermittent sipping. The way that they put that, it implies that they all drank the, they drank scotch. Is one of the bottles of scotch also toxic? Okay. Maybe they drank normal scotch. I don't know. Administrator's note 12. Oh, well, this is a fun start to this one. That nutcase deserved what he got. Hoo-hoo. The only reason he was on the council is because of the insurgency crisis. We needed a strong, capable military leader. The last time I fought, horses were still on the battlefield. Alto was a deranged maniac, but we've had a lot of deranged maniacs. Right then, we needed one. He did his job. Beat back the enemy. The insurgency rose and was suppressed with overwhelming force. We waged war in Asia, Africa, even the Antarctic became a war zone, and we won. You know what that doesn't say? Europe or North America. Clef ceded his control of applied force afterwards, but he always directed massive influence in the division. Not surprising. Who's Clef? What? Okay. After that, he didn't really know what to do. 05 was not the action-packed cloak and dagger job he thought it was. Mostly just paperwork and meetings. So he lost his fervor over time, mellowed out, became the kind of guy you could drink with instead of the guy who started bar fights, not bar farts. Alto Clef, the one and only. Oh, very musically named, the one man. Okay, fine. He became the person you could drink with instead of the guy who started bar fights. None of us spent too much time around him, never really forgot the shit he pulled way back when. One day he went looking for a fight and got one. What happened isn't important. But after he was dead and buried, I swear to God I saw the sun blink just for a moment. Deliver the reality bender speech. No way! I love that. Okay. And our administrator, I mean the way it's written, I'm sorry, I gotta say it. Administrator totally killed him, didn't he? What happened isn't important, but he deserved what he got. Okay. And yeah. I'm also crazy son of a. I'm also very curious if what did they kill themselves with the bar cart? Anyway, but now the classified file addendum SCP-00113 description. This is the anomaly 13th. 13 is a small graveyard on the outer grounds of Site 1. 13 gravestones are arranged in a grid of 4 columns. Each bears an inscription that changes depending on the reader, conforming to their relationship with the subject of the tombstone. The following is a list of messages recorded by 0513. And considering this is all scripted, I think that this is all from the administrator's view, so that's who we'll get to see. Ooh, or maybe not. I don't know. 01. Here lies Django Bridge, DB, as we thought. An archivist to the end. That's our first one, the one with the little mini museum. Here lies David Rosen. Never saw it coming. What was David again? Number 2 was, oh yeah, all the screens, and somehow didn't expect it. Here lies Everett Man. Could make anything except happiness. An empty grave. Yeah, he disappeared. They don't really know, but yeah. Here lies Tilda Moose. Fun name. Didn't know what she had till she gave it away. Died trying to get it back. That's the library woman, I think. 5. Here lies Chelsea Elliott. Nay, Gleistig. Feet in 2 worlds. Nay, Gleistig. That's, I'm pretty sure that's born Gleistig. Feet in 2 worlds. Fit in neither. That's the half fairy. Here lies Ali Ibn. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not good with this. Bijan, I think. Betrayed his countrymen, died of the guilt. Here lies Agatha Wright, Aggie, the only one I have ever loved. Which makes me wonder, wasn't one of the later ones the partner, but okay. Did Administrator love her? Oh. 8. Here lies Thaddeus Zank. Came from tomorrow to help us today. Never forgot what he left behind. Ooh. These are into 13's gravestone readings. Yeah, it's each of those gravestone readings. It's not the same one, is it? That would break my brain too much. I don't think that works. But yeah, 9. Here lies Jean Actus. Right, okay. A relic of the past, but he knew that. 10. Here lies Cain Pathos Crow. He was a good boy. I knew that was coming, but that hurts still anyway. Here lies Troy Lament, the best I've ever known. It's our soldier man that went out. Here lies Alto Clef, rot in hell. And then 13, Memento Mori. Administrator's note. It's been 80 years, Gears. I got you onto senior staff, then directorship, then the council. I know you well enough to know what you do when you're thinking about ending things. It's okay. I was here before the council. I'll be here after. You all ran the place well, but at the end of the day, you're still human. Yes. You make mistakes and you have flaws, and that's all right. You did the best you could, and it was pretty good. I'm sorry for putting this crushing burden on you and the others. I can't help but feel responsible. This life isn't an easy one. They might still be alive if not for me. They'd certainly have been happier. You were all the best and brightest of the foundation of then. I took you and ruined you, and I'm sorry. Don't worry about what happens after. My office has a handle on things. We have since I stopped refilling your seats. It's time to start burying the past, make room for the future. There will never be a group like this again, but that's okay. The mere existence of the council seems to invite tragedy. It's time for something different anyway. I don't know what, but the age of the council is over. I can tell you that. Come to my study when you're ready to end it. It's okay, Charles. Don't worry. You did a good job. I'm proud of you. And that's the end of that. Wow. So that is that, and I have been here an extra 40 minutes, and now it's time to raid out. Please. We're going to Critterville. 13 submitted the description to the file classified, and eventually was appended upon with okay, so it was his readings of those graves. And if I remember 7, 13. Yeah, 13 was the one that was partner. So yeah, he knows he's the problem, and the publication of what is effectively his confession appears to be self-appointed penance for a job finally done. The administrator's final note to Dr. Gears made me angry cry the last time I read it, out of sheer frustration. Hopelessness of being undying, creating a family around you, watching it crumble. Knowing that there's work still to be done makes me pity the administrator, and yet his actions and notes seem to indicate that he hasn't changed or learned anything from this. Don't know what my takeaway would be either in his shoes. In his shoes would be primarily, yeah, I need to change everything, but it doesn't seem that he, sorry, I was reading 7 again, that he had any plans to change a thing. But, okay. We're gonna raid into Critterville. We're gonna get some good vibes off of animals, hopefully. Critterville, USA. We don't need to drop raid messages, probably. But they are fun. Yeah. Let's go see some fuzzy things, some fuzzy friends. We don't need this life. Alright, raiding in. There's gonna be an ad to start. Yeah. It's a good way to wrap that up. Let's kill off that whole thing. But okay, let's raid over. But thank you guys for joining. Ooh. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. And I will see you when I see you. My streams, I have a schedule, but I don't know if I'll stick to it very well because it's chaotic. So, yes. Alright, we go.